All right, what's going on, guys? It's Virtual Footballer back with another video. I haven't done one of these in a long time. This is a conversation. I have a group with me. Mostly they're PC gamers, but they do play consoles. But I brought a lot of people who play PC for a reason. I want to bring attention to a very important topic, and that topic is customization. We all pretty much in an agreement that we want this game, Joe Montana, to come out and be a great football game, but we see a lot of people are discouraged about it having a license. And with that being said, we all came up with this idea basically to discuss why we do not want the license. In this call, I have Dollar Jr.
Hello.
And I also have Jero Six.
What's going on?
And I have, I don't know if you guys know him. He has various names. We'll call him Jay on Twitter. He is Hulk3708.
Yo, what's up?
All right. In this call, like we were discussing prior to recording, we were talking about the game Joe Montana 16. We got a lot of information on it now. Everybody pretty much made some sort of, had an opinion about it, even made videos about the actual game. And the screenshot looks great. I mean, we all know that. I think it looks fantastic, even though there's some things to work out. But we noticed that it did not have any NFL teams. First and foremost, like we talked about customization, but we're going to talk about how do you guys feel about it may not have NFL teams in it. Jarosh, you can go first.
Well, the way I look at it, I would like to see that game actually be a lot like, let me give you an example, like Skyrim. With Skyrim, they encourage you to go in and change their game because they give you a kit. They give you that construction kit.
Right.
And just imagine if that game gave you a tool like that where they said, here you go, here's the tool. You guys build the game the way you want it to work. As long as it plays fundamental football and they make it fully customizable, especially on the PC, because you got so many people in the mod community that would really make that game something spectacular. So to me, not having a license would be a huge advantage over having a license because you won't have to be restricted to the type of sanctions that the NFL puts on EA.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Hulk, how do you feel about that? I mean, how do you feel?
I agree with him on the point of the NFL having control over the way the game, as far as penalties and injuries and stuff. And initially I wanted a license for the game, but I thought about how successful All Pro Football 2K8 is, and how Backbreaker was extended beyond its release. I think, with the community that we have here on YouTube and the modders that are out there, for the PC at least, it's gonna turn out to be a good game as long as the gameplay, football fundamentals are there. So that's my opinion on the license and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the same thing. I feel that if you had the license, you are restricted. And I already know how Dollar Jr. feels about this. Me and him talked about this off Skype, well, not off Skype, but off recordings. We talked about this plenty of times. But you can let everybody know how you feel about it as well, Dollar.
Well, first of all, I think a lot of people are forgetting the fact that we're in different times right now. The PC has grown. The things that you can do on the PC have grown significantly since 2004.
Right.
EA might think they have a huge advantage now, or then they might have a huge advantage then, but now it's not so much an advantage, as Jaros has already stated. I mean, the stuff that you can do with Skyrim is astronomical. I mean, you look at Left 4 Dead. Now, I've originally played that game on the consoles, but you go play that on the PC, and oh my God, the mods that are out there for that game, they have entire websites devoted to that game and a lot of other games. Modding is huge. It is huge, and we haven't had a PC game to experiment really, except for Madden 08, which I've made many videos on.
I mean, you made so many videos on it. I mean, I can't see how people don't understand how good that game is, even in its state. I mean, it's under a PS2 engine, and there are ways in that game that plays better than what we have now that is brand new. But I mean, I don't want people to think that this is just fully, we're PC gamers and we're looking down on, the console guys. But because I want that game to be fully customizable too, because I want them to benefit from not having the NFL taking over their game. Because, I mean,
Right.
when you're looking at, an unlicensed game, people say, oh, they don't have the Seahawks, or they don't have the Cardinals, or they don't have the Jets. I'm not playing it. I mean, you don't realize it's not just having the logos just to make the game fun. There are so many other factors that the NFL implement on a company like EA or any other company that wants to make a game under their shield that restricts them from their creativity and the actual game of football. So if you guys want to, I mean, I'm going to go last. So any of you guys can actually think of some things that can really be restricted of them having the NFL license. I mean, we can just look at Madden, but anything that people may not even think about. I mean, anyone, you guys can take the wheel.
Well, we've already talked about, celebrations, how they're frowned upon by the NFL. Like I was saying earlier, like you get a guy like Jimmy Graham, you score a touchdown. What do you want to do? You want to dunk the goalpost. Can't do that in Madden, but if we were to have a customization game like this and we didn't have those shackles on us, we could express ourselves in more ways than we could ever do in a football game. That's one thing.
Okay, that celebration's one. Jarosh, you got another one?
Yeah, I think they really hamstring penalties in Madden. One thing, I read an article that says something about the NFL has something to do with why you don't get a lot of penalties called in Madden. And that just seems absurd because that's a part of the game. But
Right.
like I was saying before, like when you play All-Pro 2K8, for example, you see some horrendous penalties in that game. Some penalties that, remind you of old school football. And I'd like to see some of that stuff being brought back to give it more authenticity rather than you seeing this, where you see an obvious face mask or an obvious pass interference, but the engine is just not equipped to call it.
Well, I agree with that because if you do, I mean, I don't know if anybody else done it. If you mess with the penalty sliders in Madden, it affects what happens on the field. For an example, if you were to change the face mask penalty and move it up, you won't get face mask penalties called because the referee sees them. You will see the face mask penalty called because the animation plays out more. And that is,
Right.
to me, that is ridiculous. Just because I move it up to like 54 or 55 on the slider meter, now you see more players just attacking the face mask instead of just the referee sees it being called. So Jay, what else you think that can actually be, a plus for them not to have the NFL license?
Well, I don't know if it's the control of the NFL or EA being lazy like we all think they are with certain things, but the challenge system. I mean, you look at All Pro Football 2K challenge system
Right.
compared to Madden 15, it's a freaking joke. I mean, the challenge system in All Pro Football 2K8, it's almost, to the spot of the ball, if the receiver catches the ball inbound, getting 2 feet down. And that was back in 07 when that game released. And here we are now. The challenge system is a joke. So if the guys that are making this game on 10 and 16, if they're consulting or they're using 2K, 5 or whatever as the inspiration, hopefully they're pulling, pieces from that game and inserting it into this version, my 10 and 16 and making it, a more modern, up-to-date version of the challenge system. Because when I play Madden 15, it's frustrating, when I call a challenge and, the referee doesn't even get it, or, it's obvious I won the challenge, but I don't win the challenge, and that's a frustrating, one of the many frustrating parts with Madden.
Right.
For years.
Exactly. I mean, not even when you're talking about just, penalties when you're talking about the challenge system. The challenge system in Madden is so stagnant, but in 2K5 and 2K8, you had a situation where they were, a list of things you can pick. Like say, even if the ball was bobbled or he may have not caught it in bounds, you can actually pick the spot of the ball if you thought it was a catch, or was the 2 feet in bounds, or did he have 2 hands on the ball? I mean, they had all those type of different things. Like they had forward passing and not forward passing, but if you sacked the quarterback and you thought it was a fumble, you can challenge if the spot of the ball, if you recovered it or they recovered it, or you can actually challenge if the ball was going forward as the quarterback threw it. So, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily the NFL restricting that, but I would not be surprised based on everything else that has been going on. For me, I just think like earlier, the big hits, the injuries, the type of injuries,
Right.
things that I talked about on Twitter, the actual behind the scenes, players being disgruntled, the morale is down, the GM and all this other stuff that are intertwined in it that actually off the field that can influence what happens on the field are some of the things that I think that are really hindering the game because of the Shield. Now I do have Tariq in. Tariq is finally into a call. We already started. Yeah, we already.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We started recording, so we already up and going. I appreciate
that's
you.
cool.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming back in. So basically, to catch you up to speed, what we were talking about is the NFL license. How do you feel? How much do you think you feel like it's a hindrance to, actually having that in the game, or do you rather have it want it in the game, or do you rather want it out?
Me personally, I thought I heard a long time ago that somebody said that they had talked to EA and they said that they actually do have things that they don't want them to put in the game. I mean, like certain injuries and, off the field issues and stuff. They don't actually want that in the game. And me personally, they actually take away from the game. Because I feel like games nowadays should be a lot more story driven, especially when you're playing franchise mode.
Right. That's why I was talking about the GM stuff. I mean, if you have a bad GM, or if you have a disgruntled player, or you have like the media nagging at you and it affects players' morale, stuff like that can actually affect players playing on the field. I mean, it happens in real life. And if you want a full-fledged football game, those type of things I feel that will actually enhance your immersion and experience. So, now, since we talked about the Shield, like another thing that I want to talk about is actual customization and modding. I mean, we touched on it earlier, but Jaros, you are a modder, and basically give everyone a scenario or just a plain situation of why full customization or modding would be better than just having the license.
Well, when you're able to mod a game and you're able to access all the assets, and say for instance, if you can do like I said, I always go back to Skyrim because that's one of the biggest customizable games out there. And you think about how long ago that game came out, and that game is still relevant today because of mods. People still play that game and they still look for the mods. But if you have a game that's fully customizable where you can import your own assets. Say, for instance, if we get the game and it doesn't have,
I think he dropped.
You can mod it and build it and put it in the game. That's a big bonus where you can say, oh, hey, they don't have this type of cleats, or they don't have this type of goalpost. They don't have this type of jersey. You can make those things and make them as authentic as you want it. Without a license, you can make it exact. There are no restrictions.
Right. So, I mean, even with it, not even like doing the whole thing with modding, because modding is a PC thing, even if it's just fully customizable where they give you the backbreaker tools. And I know, Tariq, I think you don't have a PC, you have a console, correct?
Yeah, I got a console right now. I ain't got a PC. I'm working on that though.
Okay, so and I know Hulk also said that he's going to double dip and get this game on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Well, I want to add one more thing to that as far as the console goes. If they can give us a tool like, say, for instance, if any of you guys ever played Dragon Age Inquisition,
yeah, I have.
You have your character building tools where you can morph the faces and build them the way you want to.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have to. Right, you wouldn't have to worry about building the players. People would do that. People will build those players. They'll get their faces exact.
I mean, just look at the situation with NCAA football. I mean, you had people that went out their way on Team Builder to build all the FCS teams. So, I mean, you mean to tell me nobody's not going to throw in 32 teams on a Montana game?
Oh, I know they will.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
In a heartbeat.
I mean, you have people around here that, let's say, with Deathstrom, he does all pro football. You have people that are doing Madden 08 for the PC. It's like not even just modding with the assets that Jerome say, just basic backbreaker style customization, like LT and BB. They do that type of stuff. So,
Right.
I mean, with the stuff, like I said, if they just give us the tools and the great gameplay, I think we all can agree with that. If you give us the tools and let us put the NFL in the game, I think it'd be better than the NFL being in the game and we have to work around the restrictions.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Just look at what King Javo has done with that All Pro editor. We didn't even have the ability to do, edit the generics and stuff in that game and make a full-fledged squad. We had to deal with the generics. But with his editor, I mean, that's just something he just created. I mean, and that's not even on the PC. That's on the consoles.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, I mean, and another thing, like I said, I'm pretty sure we all in agreement that even though the license, it sounds great on the surface, but when you look under the hood, it may not be the best interest. So, with that being said, where do we go from here? I mean, I hope Damon would listen to us, or I don't know, whatever's in the works. Where do you think we go from here as far as that game is concerned? Because all we got right now is a screenshot. Jay, you go first since you got cut off earlier. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Like Dollar Jr. said earlier, we're living in a different time, and I think Damon Grohl and the development team recognize the benefits of putting the game on PC and the longevity that a community that is dedicated to extending the game.
Well,
I think that's the reason why they know.
I'm glad you said that, but keep going. I'm gonna piggyback on that.
But I think that's the reason why they came out and said it's going to be on PC and not PC only. So. I just think from the screenshot, I mean, we just got to it's like we were waiting on the screenshot. We've got to continue to wait, and let's hope when this game releases that with Joe Montana with his name attached to it, it'll sell, because I don't want this to be the last. I want this to be the it comes out, and if it's not a yearly release, come out 2 years from now. I want it to be successful, because I can't. I mean. I don't know if I can do with another 10 years, 10, 15 years with this, single game, man.
I agree with that, but I mean, like I said, I'm glad you said what you said earlier, because I'm gonna throw something else at everybody right now, because everybody pretty much has a PC or going on or about to get a PC, like Tariq said. A yearly title sounds nice, but when you're talking about a yearly title, we're waiting. Look at Madden 08 for the PC. If anybody has Steam, look at iRacing. Look at those type of games. Those games are basically continually being built from the inside out without a yearly release. All we do is either support it, or we have people who mod, like they support it with iRacing, and they also support Madden 08 with mods. So if we get that one game that works just like how we want it, and for PC, I'm not gonna say for consoles, because that whole mantra to me, as far as having a console and wait for a yearly title, is becoming obsolete. If we're looking at one game that football heads can actually get, customize, and mod, if the gameplay is on point, do we really need a yearly title?
Absolutely not.
No, I wouldn't want a yearly title. I really wouldn't. I mean, if you can give me good gameplay and let the PC community mod it the way they want, we won't need a yearly title, because modding, you can add almost 10 years to a title that's already out. I mean, look at Madden 08 and people still playing that.
Yeah. I mean, what you think, Hulk? What you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that it should be a yearly release. I think the PC can extend it. It can extend the life of it. 2 years, 3 years beyond, man.
I can to a degree I can understand a 2-year release, because I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to get something that's like after a while get kind of stale, even if it's good gameplay. You want to get a refresher or something. So, like I was looking at, like I said, with iRacing constantly updates their game. Now the game is subscription based, which that's a different story that I'm going to touch that another day, as far as the subscription side of all year round type of game that could be like a football MMO, but when you're looking at a game that's year round, or if you're looking at something that can extend the longevity, I can see where a 2-year release could be. But for me, I think that if we could honestly get a game that we touch on every chance we get, the updates, like Madden 08, they had to change they changed they were able to change the uniform, the textures, all this other stuff, the stadiums. They did all this good stuff, and iRacing is doing the same thing. They're constantly putting in updated cars, updated races, roadways, and matches that you can race on. That's why I say I think the yearly title is kind of getting pushed to the wayside. I think that's another discussion for another day. But so, when do you guys think that this game could actually be a good time to be released? I mean, right now. No, I mean not only that. Let's not cut that. Let's talk about the screenshot real quick. Do you guys think that was an alpha build?
I do.
I do. I think it's an early build where they're just trying to get something out there to kind of hush the crowd, so to speak, because you got so much hype building up and people were clamoring for something. We were starving just to see something. So
especially
I think
after that whole West Coast.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I think they decided, well, let's give them something. I think that's an early build because I think by the time we actually see the game, it's going to look a lot different than what we're seeing on the screen. I mean, it looks promising. There's a lot of potential in that screenshot, though. Don't get me wrong, because when I was looking at it, I noticed a lot of little small details. Like, if you look at Joe Montana's jersey in the back, you can almost see the back plating showing through his jersey like you would in real football.
Right. I mean, like, you can see the name actually like it's been pulled or tugged or something like that.
Right. So it's got a lot of potential in that screenshot, but I think it's too early to make any grounded judgments right now because I think they're doing a lot of cloak and dagger for a reason. They're not just being secretive for nothing.
Right.
So I would say a lot of us, we just need to wait till E3, really, because I think that's going to be their big stage.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
We got Gary Robinson and G-Rob. You about 20 minutes late, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But
trying to buy a house, you know how that is.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, based on everything I bought in this house as far as a PC, and I done bought 2 consoles and all this other stuff. I bought a 4K TV. That's the next thing I got to buy. My wife said yes. I have no choice, but that's another story. But anyway, since you came in late. We touched on a lot of topics. We basically touched on how we felt about the game being possibly non-licensed. We talked about customization. We talked about what we feel about how the NFL strips some things out of the game so it don't feel like football. So I'm going to touch on a few things, and I'm going to give you the floor for a little bit. I'm going to ask you a few questions since everybody else already, voiced their opinion. The game, the NFL license, first of all. How do you feel about the game possibly not being licensed?
I'm cool with that, man. Just like the old days, man. I'm cool with that. I mean, back then, we really had couldn't mod it, couldn't edit it, and didn't really had no control of customization. But now, man, sky's the limit, man. So I'm not really stressing. It would be cool to get it, if we had it. But I mean, I'm good with it, man. People out there, modders and all that, I'm good. And plus, like you said on Twitter, man. The NFL got their hand. There's so much politics involved with the concussions and all that stuff.
Big hits.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take all that stuff out. If it's unlicensed, it's pretty much you do what you want to do, basically.
Right. And I think that if we get an unlicensed game that we can just implement our teams in, and they can keep their own rules in, I think we'll feel like we'll get a better football game than actually saying, okay, we're giving you the teams, but you can't have penalties, you can't have injuries, you can't have concussions, you can't have players taunting, you can't have nobody hitting high. Stuff like that. And then, now when you're looking at the game, it's like, yeah, thanks Montana, but we don't have football.
Exactly.
Another thing about I want to ask you, like, how do you really feel about? You touched on it a little bit, but how do you feel about the actual modding situation, or like on consoles? Nobody wants to jailbreak their console, the mods, but how do you feel about actually implementing a full customization tool for guys on consoles?
That'd be cool. That'd be cool for them. unless there's a way where though they can import like a file or something like that with a USB card or something like that, stick rather. I mean, that'd be cool. But bottom line is, if you come down to you getting an Xbox or a PC, if just to play football you want an option, I mean, you have to buckle down, save some coin, and you have to get that, you know. So I'm all in, man. I'm supporting it, whatever. If it's mobile, I'd rather not be on mobile, but whatever. But they got my support. Don't matter.
I mean, the way I feel about mobile, I feel like they should put a mobile game in for people who don't have a console just to get extra money. I don't want this game to be a mobile game ported up to a PC game. I want it to be a PC game that they just put on mobiles just for kicks and giggles, kind of like what Madden does with their Madden mobile game.
I think the mobile aspect probably be cool. Like if you say you at work or whatever on the road and you want to check and you run in the league and you want to check see everybody got their games in.
Well, I mean, Damon Grohl already said they're already trying to implement that. So,
okay.
That's gonna be real tight.
Yeah, that'll be real tight. Yeah, man.
Because he's a mobile guy, and that's where he comes from. So that's one of the main things he wanted to start out with is with the actual, let's get the mobile stuff involved with the game. But what else we touched on? I mean, we touched on a lot of stuff. Anybody can remember that we didn't touch on that we can share with Rob, and so he can give his
I'm sorry, I'm late, guys.
No, you good.
All right.
Things got to do. I mean, anybody can think of something. What do you think about? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You just said that, Damon Grohl is a mobile guy, right?
Yeah, he started out doing mobile devices and mobile games.
Okay, so if we go back and they talked about in their OS article about there was supposed to be some kind of mobile thing that, to go with the franchise. What if Damon's just doing, the mobile side of the game? That's why we really don't know who's the publisher and the actual developers who's working on this game. Damon could just be talking about it because he's just, the mobile guy that's trying to get this app going for this big, huge project.
Well, let's talk about this as well. He always pushing that Oculus Rift thing. That's another mobile device.
Yeah.
Just say, who's to say that they couldn't work alongside or with your mobile device to say, okay, hell, you're not home, but I can play this game on the go or whatever I'm doing. I'm not in front of the TV to play the game on my console or my PC, but while my wife is watching TV, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be looking in the corner with my little play virtual boy, and we can still get it in. I mean, just something to think about. I mean, I don't know, but
if you think
the Oculus.
No, what you about to say?
I was saying if you, I was going to say if you think about it, Damon, he's always talking about innovation and doing stuff that hasn't been done. And then he tweeted out the Oculus Rift package that he just got in. So I don't know, man. Like they could be tying that all in together.
Right.
But he's always he looks up to Steve Jobs. He always quoting Steve Jobs or saying something about Steve Jobs, how he was innovative.
Right. Hulk, go ahead, Jerose.
Well, I was going to say that's why I feel like there's something big brewing because these guys are really being heavily cloak and dagger about everything, and you see all these little tips they keep giving, where they show the Oculus Rift.
It ain't the tips they giving us. It's these two dudes right here, G-Rob and Tariq.
That's right.
They the ones. They've been on Twitter. They've been sending me stuff all the time. No, get this. Check this out. Made me put two and two together. I was sitting here in front of my computer like I had puzzle pieces in front of me. I'm like, Tariq put this together.
Tariq is heavy and he's Columbo.
Yeah, he put this together, and G-Rob sent me this, and Gadden sent me that, and I'll put this together. Man, let me make this video real quick. I mean, they the ones. They're pretty tight-lipped. And my thing about it is the fact that they did not say anything about my 3 videos about this. That right there spoke volumes. That right there told me something was up. Because they could have easily debunked and said that's not us, like they did, like he did everything else. But
all that.
Because they straight up said they weren't associated with EA. Straight.
Yeah.
But they weren't so quick to say they weren't working with 2K in some way. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what though, I like 2K and everything, but at this point I really don't even care. Because 2K is nice and everything. They make good sports games, but I think me and Jerose talked about this the other day. they known for 10 years we wanted a game. And they didn't say anything. They slapped us in the face with the dumb stuff, talking about we need the license, we need the license. If Montana make this game and it's unlicensed for real, I'm really gonna have the side eye at 2K.
Yeah, why they never did it?
Yeah, like dead serious. I mean, you got a guy that's a pro football player that's retired, and one dude that done a bunch of indie games, basically coming out with the little. You know, they don't have the biggest budget, not even close to 2K. They're going to come up to 2K. I mean, they're going to come up with a game that 2K could have done. Even though you messed up an all pro, you learn from your mistakes and dust off and keep it moving.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about them, but I mean, a legitimate argument for gamers could be like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I said. If they're not associated with 2K, then this is going to be a big deal as far as saying, hey, what's up, 2K? You ain't got no excuse.
Right.
No excuse.
You say the same thing for Sony. Sony could have made an unlicensed game. What's their excuse?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Especially if this game is successful. That right there is really going to, and because we know, I mean, even though Montana's doing the best he can with the Unreal 4 engine, we all sit here can agree that 2K did it the best.
Right.
Oh,
No doubt.
definitely. Doubt about it.
So what's the problem? You know, I mean, and I'm not making it about bashing anybody, no company, no, not even EA or 2K or anything like that. I mean, for us, everybody here, we just want a good football game.
Exactly.
And I mean, we don't care who make it. I don't care what logos on it. And I mean, long as it give us a good gameplay. And the only thing to me is, if any of us, I know G Rob, I mean, he's working on a PC. Everybody here pretty much working on one or got one. So for people on consoles, if this game's not customizable, it's going to be. I'm going to be looking at Damon Grow at the side eye too, because they know they came to us asking us what we want. And you know, if you can't deliver on that, at least on, let's say I can't do it the first game, but maybe the second game that'll come around, at least I can understand that. But I mean, for us PC guys, like I said, just give us the tools or give us the files, we'll make it work.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You know, so I mean, that's my only problem with this whole situation is like, is it customizable? You know, even if the gameplay is great, I mean, you know, All Pro is a good football game. I mean, I'll play it, I'll support it. But, I mean, if we can't put in the teams that we want, it's kind of going to be a letdown. So,
And I wanted to say, too, is one of the best things about this game coming out is that it's opening dialogue in the community. And people are starting to
oh, my goodness. I mean, that's one thing me and, oh, my goodness. I'm about to go into an area I don't want to go in, but this community, for the most part, 95% of the people in this community that have not spoken before or haven't spoken in a while are on speaking terms again. And that's a good thing. Right. I mean, Jaros used to roast me in my comment section all the time. But I can sit here and say, you know what, we want the same thing. It's nothing personal, and now we can actually agree on something as far as this Montana game, and we can chop it up and talk like men and talk about football like we want to.
Exactly.
You know,
Well, see, that's the thing. You know, whenever this thing, what was it? Back when trying to think, whenever this whole thing started, when everybody came together back in, I think it was 2011, and everybody kind of split up. And we all know who the people were, and it's like that was the purpose, you know, to come either try to, you know, make Madden a better game or bring back competition. And you know, virtual. I mean, it is good to have everybody talking again, because that's what it's all about, man. You know, none of us having issues with each other. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I agree. All the personal stuff got to go to the side. And I don't want. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna say it because I'm not afraid of nobody, and I'm not speaking no names. But it's all about getting a better game, and it's not about who did what.
Right.
It's not about that. It's not. I mean, I make videos for entertainment, even though, you know, people was trying to tell me, oh, you trying to be Mr. Exclusive with getting the first Joe Montana screenshot out. No, it's not. It's about it's about spreading the word so people can know, so they can sit back, get on their couch, or they can get in their little gaming chair and just enjoy a good football game. I don't want recognition for none of this. If Damon Grow or Joe Montana want to give me a check or whatever, that's cool. But I'm not here looking for that.
Right.
I don't think any of us will turn that.
Turn that
No.
down, right?
Exactly. But I
Ain't
mean,
nobody turning that down.
you know, I mean, it's not about that. Our thing is like everybody in this call. I mean, I know some people in this call now have issues with other people in the community. We're not going to name on that. I have issues with people in the community, and there's some people in this community are afraid to talk to me when I try to tell them, look, you got a problem. This is my Skype ID. What's up?
Right.
Nobody don't know how to use Skype all of a sudden. But I mean, that's another story. But like I said, it's all about, look, we have a disagreement. Let's talk it out. If we have a disagreement, it is what it is. At least we tried to work it out. If not, we can still sit there and say, look, we just want a better game. And that's what it's about.
You agree to disagree.
Exactly. So
Right.
That's what my wife tell me all the time. You agree to disagree, man.
Right.
well, Dan, she's probably telling you that because of some other issues, and you better say yes, because before you know it,
you're right.
It's better admit you wrong when it's your wife.
yeah, exactly. I posted this thing on my Facebook, and I need to put this on my header on my Facebook. It's a title that says, "My wife has won arguments against me that we haven't even had yet."
Yeah, right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but like I said, at the end of the day, we're men. You know, we all have our issues. We all gonna have our machoism, but you know, we came here for one purpose. We all came here to get a better game.
And everybody needs to understand that it's a win-win even if this game comes out and it pushes EA to finally start stepping up. That's a win for everybody.
You know, before we end that, I forgot all about it. But before we end this, I really want to touch that. If Montana is good and they push this company EA to make a better product to play like football, I think for us, I think for us that is definitely a win because we can finally get the Madden that we used to know.
Exactly. You don't think that they wouldn't put that game on PC? Their new games on PC?
No, I'm gonna tell you something right now.
They might do that.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. If if Montana becomes a success on PC, Madden wouldn't have a choice.
Yeah, that's a win-win for us, like you said.
Right. That's
To a certain extent, Madden ain't got a choice now because ever since Montana released that screenshot yesterday, the hype is even realer now than it was when we was just talking about it. I mean, Yahoo made an article. Polygon made an article. I mean, people are starting to take notice now. This is not just something that people in the community talking about.
You know, but you know what? It's nice that Polygon and them are doing that, and now it's starting to take notice. And now that's putting Madden on notice. It's just like now, okay. My issue with that is you're playing around with the PS3 engine.
Yeah,
right.
Disgraceful.
What the hell are you going to do to combat this Unreal 4 engine with that Madden product?
But you know
they
that
didn't have time to get start over, did they? I mean, they just do a yearly thing. Where
Even if they start over, I don't even think they have an engine ready to go. Because knowing EA, if they did, they would have put it out. I mean, they would have put it out. I mean, look how quick they was to put out the Infinity engine. They put that thing out so fast, they even rushed it on Madden 13.
Sure.
It was ugly though. That engine.
No, it was, but I mean,
do we think do they have the talent? I mean, you have to really wonder, do they have the talent to even make a better game?
It's only one person, and I don't know every developer at EA, but there's only one person that I actually feel that he would be great if he was working somewhere else. I actually like Clint Oldenburg. I like him a lot. He listens. He tries his best to get the line the best way it can with the S that he's working with, you know, but with him, he's always willing to give feedback. He's kind of tongue in cheek with it, but he's always responsive to anybody's concerns on Twitter, and he's more open about it. I mean, you don't see the stuff with the other devs. Rex, I mean, come on, really? I mean,
don't even get me started on him.
I mean, like seriously,
we are making a simulation.
To be serious, I mean, I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're bad guys. But when I look at the transparency, I will honestly say Clint is the only guy out there that I believe that actually can do something elsewhere. So what you said, do they have the talent? I'm not really sure.
I don't think it's a question of talent. I think it's just they're limited. They're restricted. They have their shackles on. They have to do what the suits tell them. They might have all the talent in the world at EA. We don't know.
Well,
I mean, they don't have all these ideas, but they can't use them.
Right. I kind of wonder if it's the same situation they had with what was it, NBA Live? Wasn't there a guy there that used to work for 2K and then he quit and went back to 2K?
And that's a different story, but I will tell you this, NBA Live is a totally different issue than what NFL Madden is going through. Live had no. They had developers that was there that left, like you said, right? But they're under the same situation.
Right.
That was Mike Wang that had to leave.
Yeah, Mike Wang left because of creative situation. Scott OG left possibly because of creative problems. Now Madden, the developers at Madden are possibly getting it both ways. They're probably getting it because the suit said no, we want this MUT money, and two, the NFL Shield said no. So I mean, these guys, yeah, it's great to have the teams, but you're not giving us football.
They're making so much money off that MUT too, man.
Oh yeah,
Hey man, they got yachts that got mud on the side of it. How did I make my money? Read the label.
no, like seriously, man. For the last 2 years, man, they made $2 billion in 2 years off of MUT.
That's
crazy,
insane, man.
That's absolutely insane. That's more than the game. That's more than the sales from the game.
Just look at it. That $2 billion I'll just say $1 billion a year on MUT alone. What the hell Save 65 can do for that?
Nothing.
Nothing. You know what I mean? Seriously. So it's like with this. I mean, I'm just bringing full circle now. With this Joe Montana thing, it needs to be simulation. It needs to represent football, and I think that will push Madden to say, you know what, we need to really do something, especially if it's customizable. If it's customizable, then they see NFL teams on this game, it's nothing they can do. First of all, because the game, is free reign to just put out an NFL roster or NFL team, long as you don't try to sell it.
Yeah, it's got to be.
That's right.
See, my thing is though, will that even matter if they got competition? Will they change? Because they're making so much money off of MUT and whatever the sales, and if it's not broke, why fix it? You know what I mean? If they fix it and try to make a simulation for us, and the people that are just a casual gamer is going to say, well, I don't want this, whatever. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. I don't think they're going. I mean,
it's a double-edged sword. It's hard to say because look at NBA Live 15. For all intents and purposes, they did improve that game.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because they had NBA 2K. So I don't know if they're willing to improve Madden like they do NBA Live, but.
I like how
but you got $2 billion on the table, and you might not want to change it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. If I was selling BS to somebody, and I'm getting
exactly. That's my point.
I'm getting $1 billion a year by selling you bad cupcakes. I'm gonna keep selling you these bad cupcakes.
Right.
It is what it is. So in closing, we're actually had a very extensive conversation. I think this is great, and I want to do more of these. And I don't want to
we got to, man.
I don't want to do just Madden or Montana. I want to talk about football. Like I was going to do earlier. I wanted to talk about the free agent moves that are in the real NFL. That is a lot. That is a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So I think within, I don't know, everybody is busy or whatever. Maybe somewhere the next one we do sometime this week, next week, I really want to get into the Ndamukong Suh. I want to talk about Murray going to the Eagles. I want to talk about Sam Bradford's bum ass. I want to talk about all that.
I was just getting ready to say the Eagles alone would
that
would topic about itself.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a topic by itself. Exactly. So, in closing, man, I really appreciate it. G-Rob, I know you came late, but you did come with great points at the end. Hulk, everybody pretty much here we talk to each other on Twitter. Skype could be a safe haven where we can really have these football discussions. And I think this could be the beginning of something. Even if somebody decides not to be here, they're busy. We all have families, and I understand that. But I really appreciate you guys taking the time. And I'm going to close it. Like I said in my Sunday conversations, if you guys want to talk, agree, disagree, you hate me, you hate anybody in this call, you voice your opinion in front of to face to face. It's no big deal. We'll agree to disagree, and you know what? We're gonna still have Joe Montana possibly to play and customize that shit, and we're gonna be happy either way.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
I'm down for the convo, man. I'm down.
Yeah, we here, man. So anybody else got any last words? I'm gonna close it out with that.
Well, I'm disappointed we didn't get to touch on the topic of innovation. I mean, the thing with the scoreboards and about the Twitter feed that's going on. There's innovation that EA hasn't even tried yet. I mean, they have all this ticker thing that they haven't even used, the ESPN license or whatever. They don't even use it effectively.
They can't use the NFL. I mean, they can't use the ESPN license because of the NFL Network and ESPN beefing like that. So the NFL has a situation with CBS. If you look at Madden 15, the whole presentation damn near looked like the CBS show.
True.
I mean, I mean, they even got the commentators, so it would be nice to have the ESPN stuff, but I can understand. I don't knock EA for that because the NFL Network, like, look, you're gonna use our teams and players. Fuck no, damn, with them, and I understand that, so because they're in direct competition, so I do understand that. But
there's a lot of potential for that, though. I mean, imagine if we could, have like scores of our leagues and stuff come up on the screen or something. I mean, there's a lot of potential there.
Oh my
That'd be
God.
nice, yeah.
That right there.
One thing I would like to see in the future is if they can get more than one team of commentators. That would be so innovative.
Yes,
that would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, for Sunday, like primetime games and regular games. Yeah.
I mean, even if they're made up dudes like Dan Stevens and Peter O'Keefe, just somebody different, you know.
Oh, if it's on the PC, guys, remember there was a mod that was in production on Football Idiots about people doing their own commentary, making a mod for their own commentary. Now, I'm just telling you guys, it gets on PC. There is so much that's going to happen. It's going to be unbelievable.
That would be nice, but placing MP3s based on scenarios in game it can work. I'm not saying it can't, but that's a little tedious, honestly. Even if you could, that's a lot because the movement of the game and you want the right sound to come out at the right time.
Well, I'm just talking about like make basic stuff.
I mean, now if you want that to happen, I mean, we need to go and talk to some of these former 2K devs to be one of these modders. I mean, that would work, but I mean, it would be great, but I think we were biting off more than we could chew when that goes. Anything else, Jay? You got anything to say?
No, I'm good. Said everything pretty much.
Tariq?
One last thing. Only thing I got to say is I really do feel like something big is coming because all that information that I found, that was very hard to, dispute that. I mean, even that newspaper article on their website. The only reason why nobody.
He went to England newspaper find
the only reason why nobody in America was talking about that because it was in England. I mean, in that article they said big American football game. Wow. The only big American football game that anybody can think about right now is Joe Montana. That's the same place. Then when you look at the company, they've been doing stuff for the Joe Montana because it's right there on their Facebook.
Man, I put it on my video, bro, and people still sitting there talking about I don't believe it. I'm like, yo, what you need to do? I mean, what we need to do.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like at some point your common sense got to fall in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was right there in front of you. I mean, put two and two together.
Yeah, but
how could you not?
You still have people hating on it, but they still checking on it on the low though,
Oh, you know that.
Oh yeah.
You know that.
Oh yeah.
Because like I said, I mean, my thing is, if this game was actually, like we already discussed, we don't want it to be, but if this is an NFL game, watch how many people jump to it. I mean, don't jump now. When we made these videos and we tried to tell you what it was, you're looking crazy. No, don't do it now. Go play your mutt. Go over there. Don't do that. But I don't have anything else to say, man. I hope this game is a success. Modding, customization, modding. No modding, no problem. I think everybody here pretty much intertwined with the customization, and we all have PCs about to get PCs, so we're into the modding as well. As long as we can get it done, I think we can. So I don't have anything else to say. Like I said, if anybody wants to get in these conversations, like I said, we want to talk about real football stuff. These guys are great, man. I can't say anything else about them. Great conversation, guys. I'm going to close it out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation, and just click the like button. Hell, click the dislike button. Flag it. I don't care. You guys take care, man.
All right.
All right, guys.
Good deal, man.
All right,
There
man.
you go.
I'll take it easy.
All right, peace.